RealEducation, RealEducation, SciFunaging, RealEducation, RealEducation, yeah. The real side chain, the real side butter chain. The fool.
Alright, so this dream was from just 2 nights ago. I had found myself walking. It was a little weird. It was like a elongated bus, but it wasn't like a normal sized bus, kind of like a public transportation one. And it was pretty long, and I could see the other end, but it was probably like 100 yards long. Think like football field or something like that. So an unusually large bus, and it was just kind of making it stop, making it stops through town, and people were just coming and going as it would make it stops. But it was odd because it was stopping like every other. It almost seemed like every 20 feet. I'm trying to get to work, but at least that was the impression that I had. I'm trying to get to work, and these are good. And before I know it, everybody was just gone off the bus. It was just me. At some point, people stopped piling on at the stops, and people were just piling off instead. And I'm looking around, and I holler towards the front of the bus where the driver should be, asking where everyone's at. I didn't get an answer. I didn't even see any movement up there. I kind of frown a little bit and start walking towards the front of the bus. It's still a ways away. I'm probably closer to the back than the front, so probably like 7 yards to walk, so quite the distance. And the bus still continues on, making stops every 20 feet. Nobody coming on. There's nobody left to get off other than me. And as I'm approaching closer to the front, I just start feeling dizzy. I'm not quite sure what's going on. And I hear this voice from behind me holler out, "Don't trust him," is what it said. I wasn't sure what it was referring to. I look back and I can't see anyone. I just kind of shrug it off and continue walking forward towards the front of the bus. And then I hear it again. "Don't trust him." I stop, turn around, and for a fleeting moment I thought I'd seen a shadowy figure out of the corner of my eye as I looked back. But as I stood there and let my eyes settle and focus, I see nothing. I stared for a prolonged period of time, waiting for somebody, a prankster or something, to kind of poke out from one of the seats, see if I was still there or walking forward again. But nothing happened. So I start to turn back around, to continue walking forward, and out of a kind of glance of the window, kind of like as a kid, I used to kind of blow on the window to fog it up some and write on the moisture. I seen several large letters. They were all the same. It was E. Just kind of smears. And I hear it again. "Don't trust him." I didn't bother looking back this time for some reason, but it was a lot louder, almost as if it was inside my head. I'm staring at the letter E in the windows, and I can't quite make sure what's going on. And it's just odd that don't trust who? And why do I see the letter E smeared all over the window? I just shake my head and continue walking towards the front of the bus. And just in the back of my head, I think I'm hearing it still, yelling, "Don't trust him." And then it kind of warped a little bit, became echoey, kind of reverberated. And it says, "Don't trust it." I'm like, well, it went from him to it. But I don't stop. I continue to walk. And I come across a section of the bus with these little paper people kind of dangling down from strings. And one of them's pointing to the right. And I look. Then I see an A, large letter A, smeared into the window. But it wasn't just moisture on the window that it was written into. It looked oily, slimy, almost tarry like thick tar, but somehow watery at the same time. I reach forward and touch it with curiosity and pull my finger back. It's sticky, it's tacky, and the black substance doesn't leave the tip of my finger. I try rubbing my fingers together and it just smears around. As if there's an unlimited amount of it. It just keeps smearing. And I'm not sure what it is. God, these gummies are good. So I keep walking towards the front. Just all the while looking at my sticky finger. It's sort of feeling like this thick lubrication. There's a very specific one called J-Lube. It's for, I think they use it for farm use or something like that. For lubing things. Just leave it at that. I'm just playing with it, tacking my fingers together. It's getting stringy back down. And my fingers just stick together. And then I hear the voice again. It is already here, is what it says. And I'm looking around now because the voice sounded really loud. Kind of to my right, and look, and there's nothing there. Then I hear a sudden outburst that just jolts me. Scares me a little bit. And it goes, and I recognized it. It was Jerma's noise, a weird babbling thing he does. Like he's slightly demented, but not quite. And I start to think, oh, this is just Jerma messing with me. He's, at least from my experiences, Jerma's a bit of a prankster. And I look around and can't see him. And then I notice on the window, I see the letter A again. But then the letter N, A-N. And then the voice again says, "Don't trust it." I shake my head and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm not really thinking too much of it. I'm just kind of in the moment. And I continue walking forward again. I finally reached the front of the bus. I was at the front of the bus, just looking around, and the driver wasn't there, but yet the bus was driving itself. Steering wheel was operating as if someone was there. The foot pedal was pressing in the gas. The brake was being tapped. Just as if a ghostly figure was there driving it, pressing the controls and operating. And I reach up for the door handle. Well, it's the ones that you see on buses. It's like a pneumatic handle. And when I went to go reach for it, I felt something cold grab my hand, as if to stop me. I start looking around, wondering what's going on. Then I hear Germa's laugh again, coming from behind. And I look back, and there's Germa off in the distance. He's about halfway back. And he's just kind of smiling. Looks like he's laughing. And I get the sense that it's his ghostly hand grabbing mine. I'm not supposed to leave the bus. It's unsafe. I look back at the driver's seat, and I see this ghostly visage starting to form. Then and then the figure just kind of looks at me. The bus stopped again. The door opened on its own. And I look back at Germa, and he's shaking his head no. And then he speaks. Germa doesn't speak very much. But he said, "This is not your stop. Whatever you do not go." I trust Germa, and I just nodded in return. He hasn't led me astray yet. He's a little goofy, but that's fine. I am too. The door slowly starts to close. And as I watch, the door shuts close with a hiss. Noise. Bus begins driving off again. And Germa's next to me all of a sudden. His hand on my shoulder. Then he says closely to my right ear, "Do not trust it. Never trust it." And then he points to the window in front, and the letters AN are there again, smeared, desperately rubbed into the moisture on the window. And it starts to click. I start understanding kind of what's going on.
Real side king, real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Rebazar out here grilling, what he making, no faking. He's making a fat patty, sharp-boiled awareness. We looking for that real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King. Needless to know out here grilling, what he making, no faking. He's making a fat patty, sharp-boiled wellness. We looking for that real side Burger King, real side chain, real side Burger King, real side chain, real side Burger King, real side chain, real side Burger King. Real side chain, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King. Real side king, real side Burger King, real side Burger King, real side king, real side Burger King. The real side chain, the real side butter chain. The fool.